So today on this episode of the Dojo, we got a homie from we go back to high school. We were in the same homeroom class. Uh I mean shit, high school shit, you know what I mean? And we got Kendall Customs. So I'm gonna give
Appreciate
you
you,
the
man.
floor. Go ahead and, let people know what you do, why you're here.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been an upscale, uh, upcycling fashion designer or a fashion artist, whatever you want to call it. I've been sewing since 2016, thanks to my grandmother and my aunt putting me on to the sewing. It wasn't until this year that I really started launching my brand as far as getting my LLC put together with the help of my girlfriend, of course. She's been like my biggest supporter
Hell yeah.
over the last year or so that I've been really knocking out these pieces. But she's one of my biggest influences, alongside my grandmother, mother, anybody who felt that I was doing something that was different from the status quo. So,
That's dope. That's dope as hell. And so I want you we're gonna use that as a launch pad for our discussion real quick. So speaking of inspirations, you gave the people that kind of set that foundation as far as like technique and the things that actually helped you get the ideas from
mhm.
idea to actually physically here. So what other building blocks or what other pieces of the puzzle for you were like essential in creating what Kendall Customs is, or what your style or your brand is exactly?
Hmm. I'd I'd say individuality. So a big portion of what I started with was strictly one of one pieces when I first came out of the gate. And it's almost a two-sided coin due to the fact that the pieces I was making, I had limited resources. So in a nutshell, most of my pieces had to be one of ones. It
Exactly.
wasn't until I started building clientele and I started building the hype around the brand that at that point I would start looking into vendors to see where I can get pieces wholesale. I still do all the work myself, from the embroidery to the sewing. Like everything is still done in home, handmade.
That's what I'm talking
It
about.
just it was just a matter of getting those pieces, man. And it was hard in the beginning trying to figure out what I wanted my brand to be. And it was at a platform where I only wanted to do one of one pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I made that piece, and it's that one piece
And it's hot.
that the and it's hot. I'm getting multiple inquiries about, like,
Hell
it
yeah.
could be seen, if it's seen by the right person, then how could I not
Exactly.
take what I did and replicate it now that I have this vast audience watching me? But I didn't want to become a slave to the audience where now
Come on.
I have to feed everybody else's version of artistic expression,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's stopping me from going forward and pursuing pieces for the future that I may want to release.
Yeah.
So the piece I dropped just last Friday
Yeah.
was my first big, like, market piece,
I'm
and
gonna have
it's
a photo come up for y'all to see, but like I'm like I was like, okay, okay. Like,
yeah,
and
for
some of
sure.
those trials and tribulations that you're talking about, I know personally, were part of the reason why I stopped. Cause
Hmm.
it was so, cause I was doing one of one shit, and it got to the point where it's just like, you reach a point where it's like, all right, I need more resources than I have, and I'm not
Hmm.
sure how to get to them. And I feel like the problem with the scene right now, as far as
Hmm.
independent artists, is everyone is so like, let me hold this knowledge to my chest. So
Yeah.
instead of like, let me, like, I'm gonna teach it, you got to make it work though. Just because I teach you and tell you doesn't mean you're going to apply yourself and actually believe
Exactly.
and go ahead and make it work. So quit being stingy out here with y'all knowledge. Quit being, feeling like, oh, someone gonna come up on me and this and that. Man, fuck all that shit. It's like we all out here trying to figure it out, and it's working laterally. That's what's gonna get us ahead. So, yeah, I just felt that like just trying to get shit, keep it going, and it's just like this hill is like it feels like impossible, but like as soon as you get up there, it's like damn, okay, gonna push this bitch over now. So
Exactly.
so this is that a husky? What is that? What is that on your shirt?
This on my hoodie. This is actually it's a Shiba Inu.
Shiba.
It's a Shiba Inu. It's what is it? I think their descent is from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. But the dog's breed itself traces back about 9,000 years.
So why that dog?
To be honest, this is my favorite animal. Like when I saw it, it wasn't until I saw it. I was doing a photo shoot with my photographer Chris, and as we were wrapping up, we were walking down the sidewalk, and there was a guy who was walking his dog, and it was a Shiba. I had never seen the dog before, knew nothing of it, no lineage, anything. I had to stop him. I'm like, bro, what is that? Dog wasn't older than about a year. Still
oh,
small,
man,
small little guy.
Baby. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So when I saw it, it was like, okay, that's my brand animal. Beside the butterfly, like this is my
I was
brand
fucking with the
animal.
butterfly, like that especially like the colorways that you've been showing, especially like that blue one. Oh man, it's so dope. Like something that I really enjoy, because I don't know about you, but as far as Instagram goes, it's like I go through those times where you like purge the crap that you just like, I'm gonna follow this just cause. And I go through that shit where I'm like, let me get this shit out of here because I need like some pure inspiration and shit.
Yeah.
And so, like when I see your layouts of fits, when it was just before it was just your brand, or it was just like fits that you would put together, or it was your brand, it's just the way you would lay it out and the way you would come up with color palettes and stuff was just like so like interesting to me, and like it drew my eye, and I was just like, I was going to continue to follow this because it was like I was always going to get something different. I was always going to get something new. And
every time.
oh yeah, and it's like, especially with music, visuals stimulate me as far as music goes. So it's like for your shit, it's like oh shit, this look like this album, this look like that, and I'm like,
yeah.
So I was wondering if you were to pick I want you to pick your favorite album that you were listening to when we were in high school. So within that span of time, your favorite album that you were listening to in high school, stayed on repeat, and then an outfit that would encapsulate that album for you.
Let me see. What's an album I had on repeat? To be honest with you, any of Kanye's earlier, any of his earlier albums, but I'd say what did I think it was 80. I think it was 808's Heartbreak. Out of his albums, that was the album that I feel spoke to me. I mean,
no, I like talking about Kanye because everyone has a different point where they fell in love with him. So I like hearing that, especially with 808s.
Yeah. So for when that was actually like my first album that I had like purchased on iTunes ever.
Wow.
So it was I really had nothing else to listen to because I didn't buy any other music. Everything else was like downloaded from libraries of music that my
Yeah.
dad had or that I grew up on. But as far as like purchasing music, like 808's Heartbreak was my first ever like purchased album. And it was more than I could have been prepared for.
Wow. Yeah. It definitely was a turn. It was definitely a turn. It was like we was
Absolutely.
climbing up that mountain, and then it was like, whew,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you a
Yeah,
whole new clean slate. It was like
exactly.
it was really dope. Um,
But then you said a
yeah.
piece that emulates that album.
Yeah, for you, like if you were to like besides the like the what were they calling it? What are they calling it? Cocaine 80s? Is that the style that they were calling it that he was rocking during that time? I think it was like cocaine 80s or something, some weird shit like that. Like, what would
Mm,
your style? What would your alternative look be for that album?
my alternative look for that album.
It's like if you were to be the stylist, the designer.
Hmm. What would be a fit? Well, that album gives me like heavy fall vibes, like overly not an overly like emotional sappy kind of feel, but displaying your emotions on your sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
but still like being 100% honest, like no matter how cold your opinion may look to someone or how ruthless you may seem,
For sure.
like there's always there's always a place you're trying to reach. Like you're always trying to get somewhere further than where you are the day before.
Exactly.
And he had one song on 808's Heartbreak that it was like a full display of his life and how he was making it, like how he was putting in the work,
Yeah.
but he had to sacrifice certain aspects of his life that are like granted that groundbreaking, like very memorable, like family moments that he couldn't experience because he was building himself up in a way where he couldn't take time away from his growth to entertain his loved ones. And it's a gift and a curse because I'm
Yeah.
very family oriented, but I have my spurts that are like I shut down, I lock
Yep.
myself
Then
in.
blinders go on, and it's like I ain't. Yeah.
Exactly. Once those blinders go up, it's like just give me the time that I need. Like I'm gonna come out. I
It's like I
promise I'm gonna
promise I'm
come
gonna
out
be
my
back.
cave.
I'm gonna come out
I
my
promise.
cave, but I'm gonna have something under my arm too, and y'all gonna be like, "Damn, this is what this nigga was doing."
And look, it might be a Sheba next time you see me.
Yo, that'd
It'll
be
be
dope
a
as
it'll
hell.
be a, hmm that's the pinnacle, man. Like that's what we grinding for now.
That's
Like
what I'm talking about. Give
it's
yourself
it's
goals,
always
people.
something.
Give yourself goals.
Absolutely. You should always have a goal to strive towards. But when you that goal, like sometimes it can be tough to see anything other than that
Oh
goal.
yeah.
And it's hard to pull yourself out of something that you've been building for what it seems like forever. And when you finally step away from it to do or to go experience another part of life, you didn't realize how much you were missing
Yeah.
because you were building so much. I got to think of the name of that Kanye song, so I can tell you
Damn.
exactly
Let me see. I got the
what's
track.
the
Okay. It was like early. It was like first half or second half.
I think it's like the second song. I
Welcome
want
to
to say,
Heartbreak.
yep, "Welcome to Heartbreak" with Kid Cudi on it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, he
Welcome
was
to
even
Heartbreak.
he was telling a story about how his sister was getting married.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he
Yes.
was
Yes.
saying like, Oh no, I think it was his cousin. It was one of his family members getting, and he was like, she was getting married by the lake, but I couldn't figure out who I want to take. Then it's bad enough that I showed up late. I had to leave before they even
Yeah.
cut the cake.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. It's that
It's like
struggle, that balance.
you still, you still on your own wave. It's like
Yeah.
I'm here for you, but I don't have the
I got
time
shit
I
going
wish I
on.
had.
I got shit
Yeah,
going on, and I started the ball rolling, and I can't like stop it now because now I have responsibilities and I have
exactly.
expectations that I have to meet
Hmm.
for myself. Like bump anything else for myself at least. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the gift and the curse about what I'm trying to build with
Yeah.
my brand.
What has been some growing moments as far as like those moments where it's like I gotta make a decision and I don't know if I'm gonna like either choice, but I gotta make a decision, and it's just like it, whether it was for the better, for the worse, anything that
Mm.
was something that you wish that someone told you when you was getting into it. Like it was like, hey man, watch out for that shit over there.
Yeah, if man, I wish I would have met. I really do wish I would have met my mentor like early when I first started, because now it's like I'm still glad I met him when I did. Shout out Al from Fashion Geek. Like he's the guy who put me on game. Just just tossing me tools, like giving me everything I basically need to get this thing started, as far as like website and like the e-commerce and like how
Yeah.
things should be set up. Like he gave me so much game and so much backstory into his own life. So it's like I got the best of both worlds as far as the knowledge and then the backstory of the person who, you know, in my eyes has made it. Like
Yeah.
living and doing those things in his life that
You
I
dreaming
see for
about right now.
myself,
Yeah.
whether it's like materialistic or like spiritual, like
Mm,
it was
facts.
the total package, man. The fact that he came from like a totally different background from me, and then somehow found his way back to in fashion was like, man, like anybody can do it. Like it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, but you can never learn too much from your surroundings. You
Facts.
can never learn too much from your surroundings. So
Hell yeah.
listen more, talk, say less.
Say less. That's what I'm talking about. Shit. What is, because the thing is, I remember when it came to shoe game,
Hmm.
because here's the thing. It was like, I ain't had a pockets for all that shit.
Hmm.
I just didn't. I want to go play like I
Yeah.
did. But
Hmm.
boy, oh boy, did I love looking at the motherfuckers. And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm building my little collection right now. I got some Cortezes, on lock, some black and whites,
Oh yeah. Can't
some
go wrong
decent
with
shit,
Cortez, man.
decent shit. So I'm just trying to, I'm trying to see where, as far as, and I had been watching, what was that? The Last Dance. I've been watching that doc, and that shit is
Yeah.
crazy.
I still got to get into it, man. I haven't seen it yet.
Bro, it's like, I'm mad that, like, I don't know about you, but I'm mad that I wasn't like coherent during that time to really
Hmm.
like see this nigga play, like really understand what this nigga is doing on the court.
Yeah.
Like, cause it was a different energy back then. But anyway, I got off track. What else was I talking about?
We was talking about shoe game. That's true. You
Shoe
were leading
game.
with.
Um,
Hmm.
what are your 5 favorite shoes? Whether you own them and you rock them and that's your
Hmm.
circulation, or like of all time, these are your 5 favorite shoes. And they can be cross brand, any brand.
Five favorite. My five favorite as of now, I'd have to put it the I have to put the Chicago Jordan ones.
Yep.
Like still don't own them. Like as many shoes I done ran through, still don't own a pair. And that's the one I'm heard about the most.
That's
But
real.
they're coming. they're coming. Like they're meant for me to have. They're in my future somewhere. I just haven't had them yet.
Oh hell
Uh,
yeah. Them motherfuckers is definitely like I feel like that's on everybody's hit list. It's like, fuck, I
man,
need them
I need those,
because
and
they
it's
age so well. Because it
yes,
just age so
yes.
well.
When that white starts to hit that off color kind of that little off white beige just look
Yep.
over the years of the
Oh my
age,
god.
it's it's really a timeless shoe. Like
For real,
that's
for
the
real.
one that I have to have, but it's gonna come.
Oh hell
At
yeah.
at number two, I'd probably have to put the the Sean Witherspoon Air Max 197. And I actually had just sold them, but
Oh shit.
I mean, they'll they'll be back around. Like they're really meant for me to have. I'll see them again. Like if not, I had them. The last three, I'd have to put the I'd have to put the Yeezy Wave Runner,
Mm,
like the very first colorway, the 700s that he
yeah.
dropped.
Yeah.
That was like that was the groundbreaking like
Like that was
Kanye
a
collab everyone was waiting on.
he was just doing interesting shit with silhouette. And it
Yeah.
was just challenging the form. I was like, I'm here for this. I'm definitely here
Hmm.
for this.
Man, it was that was I think my most favorite shoe when it came out, and I couldn't find it. Like I
Mm.
couldn't find it for months. And a lot of people were just copping to resell it, but the resale prices were so high. I'm like, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
I just won't have it then
Yeah, like
if this is what it's come to.
the shoe market game is ridiculous. And I never like I'm not getting into that. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave
you
that shit over
look,
there.
you see every time Travis Scott puts on a shoe, like the value of the shoe
Goes up.
immediately jumps.
It's
But man, I
ridiculous.
mean, look, it's a black man
Come
having
on.
a major effect in a market. Now, whether it's sneaker stocks or so on, makes no difference. Like
Hey,
he's hit a platform like no other. Like his influence is crazy.
yeah, it is.
But I
It's
do,
wild. It
but
really
yeah,
is. Like this, like motherfuckers gonna be talking about Travis Scott like they talk about Ye. Like
yeah.
real talk.
He's gonna be a hot topic for years to come.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
he's fully exploited his platform. Like, and he hasn't even reached his pinnacle yet. Like he's
Exactly. That's what I'm
just
saying. I'm trying to see where to grow. I'm more interested in where he's going. I want to see what else he got. I really
yeah.
like. I just want to see him grow. That's really it.
Mm.
Cause
His
he,
documentary was nice too, though. If
yeah,
you haven't seen it.
yo, it was so dope, man. It was so good. I just love
Hmm.
the how they told the story. It was just like they would bounce back and forth, and it was just like really
Yeah,
cool.
nothing was
Especially,
really in order.
yeah,
It would show a low point, and it will show growth, then it show a high point, and then
yeah.
it will mix it up from there,
I
like
think
from his up and coming life until like
it
where
was
he
like
is now.
my
Crazy.
favorite part though, like not even my favorite part, the most interesting part to see was
Hmm.
the Grammys because when Cardi B won, it was like we were all on the other side of it, being like, "Oh shit, Cardi B won! Oh shit!" You know. But then
Yeah,
we see on the other side where this nigga like, "Fuck!" Like it's like, oh damn! Like this nigga really was like, he was really gunning for that top spot. He was really
he was
gunning
like
for it.
number two, wasn't he? He was right
Yeah,
behind Cardi, if I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
mistaken.
He was like right behind her. And Nikki was in third, and she never let us live it down, and it was a problem for a minute. But so we had three, we got two more left.
We got
Shoes.
two more. All right, I'm gonna say I say the Jordan 1 fragment
Mm.
colorway with the with that nice royal blue heel, and then at number five, what would I put at number five? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. What's my last?
Yeah, because you mostly are rocking with Nike and Adidas up into this point. More
Yeah.
Nike than anything.
Mm, let me see. What'll be my last shoe? I think I'd have to go with I'll probably have to go with the Air Force One, man. Like
You got to. It's the Chicago thing
a
to do.
nice,
It's just
a
like
nice
you would lose your Chicago card if you didn't pick the one, like the Air Force Ones. Like you got to.
man. Look, any color, man. Just toss me a pair.
Real talk.
It'll make it happen. So yeah,
That's
any
another
Air Force
classic.
One for number 5, man.
That's
Yeah.
another very classic shoe. The Air Force One was the like for me at least was the most circulated shoe I saw just
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Like if you couldn't get any of the other shit, you got you some Air Force Ones.
Get you a clean pair of Forces.
Yeah,
Just make it work.
hell yeah.
Forces and Tims. That's all we ever saw
Tim game.
in
Yeah,
high school,
Forces,
man. It was
Tims. Hell yeah.
shoot. I think it was my mom. I think it was both my parents actually that drove like my sneaker obsession now.
Yeah, I remember there's like this photo of you literally like shoes just like all like you just buried in shoes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
this is a lot. Like all I saw was like, this is a lot of money. Like that's a lot of money. Like damn, but all of them, I was like, damn, them bitches cold though.
man. It was it. To be honest, if it wasn't for my mother, I probably wouldn't even have a hustle on shoes.
That's real.
Like she bought my first. She bought like my first pair of Jordans in high school.
Mm.
And she didn't complain until we got to the car. She was like, she's like, this the last pair I'm gonna buy you. Like these
Hell
shoes
no.
are too much.
He's like,
She's like,
nope,
it's
I can't do it no more.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And after that,
okay.
I was like, you know what? All right, I'm like, fair enough. And that's when I started finding my own hustle, coming to school, selling candy
Yo,
and drinks and whatever I can
yo,
get my hands on. It was
it
sold.
was so
Just like get another
hilarious.
pair, so I get a whole another pair of kicks, man,
It
every
was
time.
like you could have a whole ghetto breakfast before you hit lunch and like be
Yeah,
cool and like everybody had something, bro. It was wild, man.
everybody was a salesman,
Oh
man. I
hell yeah.
just like then to now, I had to bring something different to the table, man.
Yeah, facts.
Some that they didn't even know what they wanted.
You had the motherfucking fruit snacks, and that's what really set
Had
you off.
to,
I was like,
yeah.
"Ooh,
A
I
a
got you."
a, a dollar a bag, man,
And
and
it
they
wasn't even a small bag, G.
it was oh
It was the
yeah,
big joint. I was like,
it was a
this
nice. It was
this
it's gonna
man
hold you.
cares. This is tension. He was like, if I was to buy buy fruit snacks, I ain't about to buy the
Yeah,
little no, I'm gonna get him this.
exactly.
I was like, this motherfucker here. He gonna
Yeah,
do
that's
something.
not, and I'm like, we in a school full of guys, man. Like the appetite on a growing young man is exponential. So I
It's
mean,
like 3 iced
I
honey
had to
buns,
come,
a hug juice, and two
you
fruit
know,
snacks, and
and a
sunflower
bag
seeds
of
to hold you
nuggets
through.
to top it off, man.
Exactly, the bag of nuggets, man. Bad
Had to
motherfucker.
had to feed y'all, man.
It was
Like
crazy. It was really crazy.
it
Cause
was.
motherfuckers started checking niggas binders and shit, and shit, and like checking motherfuckers blazer linings and shit. It was crazy.
Yep, yep. I forget who put me on to cutting the lining of the blazer and making like an extra pocket.
It
That's
was a
what that
whole move, bro.
that's what really boosted the sales. Yeah, it was
It was
like
like, oh, I ain't gotta go back to my locker.
I
Oh,
only got to restock after lunch.
like, come on, bro. So, if you are seeing this portion, you have only witnessed half of the show. There's a whole other half that can be enjoyed and a bunch more knowledge that can be given, picked up, spread around. So
Mm,
what I want you to do is go ahead and hit that notification bell, subscribe. Both of our information is going to be down in the description. my info, Kendall's info, everywhere you can find his stuff. Anything you want to say, any like shout outs, any projects that's coming out, any like exclusive thing you want to talk about, anything you want to say,
Man,
secret.
I got a exclusive I got an exclusive piece coming out. It's gonna be from a small to a large, and I'm only gonna have one in each size. So once they're released, that's it.
Oh,
Not making them anymore. But
well,
they got the bomber jackets coming for y'all, man.
oh,
For
well,
sure.
you heard him. You heard him. So you might
For
as well
sure.
go ahead and follow my man's, get all his info, and then we're gonna get back to the show. Man, it's
Yeah.
been awesome having you on this show. Honestly, bro, I would love to have you on again if you got any projects coming up that you would want to shout out,
Yeah, for sure.
do a I'm like blanking on words. It's been a long day. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro, I appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to say to the people, any like last remarks, any like shout outs, guiding
Man.
words.
Just man, appreciate you for having me, man. Like, you doing you making it happen for those who may not have a platform, giving them one. So I appreciate you for allowing me on your platform.
So
Um, man, shout out my brother for helping put this logo together, man.
come on now.
If it weren't for him, you know, the KC logo probably wouldn't be the way we want it to look right
It's
now.
slick.
Shout out my brother Elijah, Chris, anybody doing anything artistically. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate my homie Al. That's the big homie, the mentor.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
man, anybody rocking with the movement or feel what I'm doing, man, I appreciate the love. I'm gonna make it do what it do, man. I'm gonna make Chicago proud for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. Shit. On that note, this was another episode of the Dojo. If you haven't already, go ahead and become subscribe, patron, all that good stuff. Said that before. My links are gonna be down in the description, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Kindle's alongside that. And shit, until next time, peace.
Peace, man.
Peace.